Level 1. The Youngin. You're 12 years old. Compton, California. Piru Street. You've been watching the older guys since you were 9. The red rags hanging from back pockets. The red laces in their chucks. The way they greet each other? Su-woo. Like a language only they speak. You've been learning that language without realizing it. You don't get chosen. It's more like the neighborhood chooses you. Your uncle is a Piru blood. 2 kids on your block got jumped in last year. The rollin' 60s Crips run 3 streets over. You already know which side of those 3 streets you're not supposed to cross. You've known since you were 8. They give you one job first. Watch the corner. If a blue car rolls slow, you text. If you see somebody you don't recognize wearing blue, you text. Simple. You're not a member. You're not even on the radar yet. You're a lookout making $20 a day in gas station snacks and borrowed respect. But for the first time in your life, the older guys know your name. At home, your mom is exhausted. Your dad left before you could remember his face. There are 3 of you in a 2-bedroom apartment, and the heat doesn't always work. Out here on Piru Street, though, somebody sees you. Somebody nods at you when you walk past. That nod is worth more than you can explain. That's the part nobody ever puts in a textbook. Level 2. Getting blessed. You tell your uncle you're ready. He looks at you for a long time. He doesn't try to talk you out of it. He already knows it wouldn't work. This neighborhood talked you into it before he ever had the chance to talk you out of it. There are 2 ways in. You get blessed in, vouched for by a respected OG who puts his name on you. Or you get jumped in, 60 seconds, multiple members, you stay standing. You're getting blessed in because of your uncle. That means something. It means you start with credibility. The ceremony is simple. A circle, an OG wraps a red rag around your wrist. He tells you the rules. You never put the rag down. You never cross Piru. You never talk to police. If something happens to a brother, you respond. Always. He says, "You're a Piru blood now. That's forever. There's no out." You don't fully understand what forever means at 14. You walk home with red on your wrist and something buzzing in your chest that feels like pride. Your cousin, who has jumped into the rollin' 60s 2 years ago. You two used to be close. You played ball together every weekend until last summer. That's done now. The sets don't mix. Blood doesn't mix with crab. That's what bloods call Crips. And if you use that word wrong, in the wrong place, it can get you killed. You've traded one family for another. The question you won't ask yourself for years is which one actually had your back. Level 3. The soldier. You're active now. That's the word they use. Active. You run a corner on Piru with 2 other guys. You're moving weed, some pills, occasionally something harder depending on what comes through. You hold the product, your boy takes the cash. A 3rd guy stands back, watches the block. That's the setup. Clean, simple, and completely visible to every cop on the Compton beat who already knows exactly what you're doing. You're making $500, sometimes $700 a week. You buy your mom groceries without her asking. You get your little sister new shoes for school. She's 9. She tells her friends her big brother is doing well. The gun comes at 16. A .38. Special. Passed down from someone who doesn't need it anymore. Because he's either dead or locked up. You don't ask which. It's heavy and old, and you fired it exactly once, into the ground behind an empty lot, just to feel what it felt like. You carry it, because everybody carries. Because the 60s are 3 blocks away. Because 2 months ago, a Piru got shot at a bus stop in broad daylight, and nobody saw anything. Which is what you'll say if anyone asks. The night you almost use it, a blue car creeps past the corner slow. Your hand goes to your waistband. The car keeps moving. False alarm. Your heart is pounding so hard you can hear it. You're 16. You have a weapon, a corner, and a felony charge waiting for you the moment anything goes sideways. You just can't see it yet because right now everything feels like momentum. Level 4. The enforcer. The Bloods are not one gang. That's the thing outsiders don't understand. Piru Bloods. Bounty Hunter Bloods. Inglewood Family Gangster Bloods. Brims. Each set is its own thing. Same color, different rules, different turf, different beefs. Sometimes different sets beef with each other. The color doesn't make you brothers with every man wearing red. It's more complicated than that. By 19, you understand the politics, and your job is to enforce them. Someone from a rival set, not Crips, another blood set, tries to tax a corner that belongs to Piru. You handle it. Not always with a gun, usually just presence, reputation, the right number of people standing behind you when you have the conversation. But sometimes it escalates. You've been arrested 3 times, possession, assault, a weapons charge that got pleaded down because the officer's paperwork had a hole in it. You have a public defender who calls you by the wrong name half the time. You know more about the legal system now than your public defender would probably like. 2 of your boys from the corner are dead. Demon got shot in a drive-by on Central Avenue. Lil Rome caught a stray during a beef that had nothing to do with him. Wrong block, wrong moment. You went to both funerals. Both had open caskets. You haven't slept a full night since Demons. There's a 13-year-old on the block now who watches you the way you used to watch the OGs. You've caught yourself nodding at him when you walk past. You know exactly what that nod means. You do it anyway. Level 5. The OG. OG doesn't just mean old, it means original gangster. It means you've been here long enough to survive things that killed people around you. It means when there's a problem, people come to you first. You're a shot caller now. No ceremony, no title. Just the weight of it. When two younger guys in the set have a dispute, they come to you. When a new corner needs to be claimed, or a deal needs to get made, you're in the room. You've moved off Piru Street. You have an apartment in Hawthorne. You drive a clean car. You don't wear red in public anymore. Not the rag, not the laces. Nothing obvious. You learned from watching who got caught and why. The ones who survived longest were the ones who became invisible. You're making real money now, not corner money, actual distribution money. Product comes in through a connect in Inglewood, gets broken down, goes to 4 different corners across 2 neighborhoods. You take a percentage of everything, 8, 10,000 a month, cash. But the DEA has been building a case on Piru for 2 years. You know this because 3 people in the set have already been approached. 2 of them talked. One of them is someone you grew up with, someone who was at your uncle's barbecue last summer, someone who looked you in the eyes across a plastic table and ate your aunt's potato salad. You change your phone every 3 weeks. You vary your route every day. You meet in person only, never on call. You thought surviving meant winning. What it actually meant was that now you have more to lose. Level 6. The plug. You're the connect now. Multiple sets move through you, not just Piru, but 2 other blood sets across South Central. You have supply relationships that go up through Inglewood, up through Compton, and further than that if you follow the chain, all the way to organizations that don't use the word bloods at all. You never touch the product. You haven't touched product in years. You give orders through 2 layers of people. If something goes wrong 2 layers down, it can't trace back to you cleanly. That's the theory. You have a legitimate business. A barbershop on Wilmington. It actually turns a small profit, which you didn't expect. You like going in on Saturday mornings. It feels normal. It feels like the version of your life where things went differently. Then the RICO indictment drops. 28 counts. Conspiracy. Drug trafficking. Gang enhancement that adds 10 years. And 2 murder counts. Not for murders you committed personally, but for murders committed by members of a set under your direction. That's how RICO works. The government doesn't need to prove you pulled a trigger. They need to prove you ran the organization. And they've been building that proof for 3 years. You find out from your lawyer on a Wednesday. You sit in your car outside the barbershop. It's 9 a.m., your barbers are unlocking the doors. The first customer is already waiting on the step, reading his phone. Normal life. 6 feet away. Completely out of reach. Level 7, federal time. The feds don't lose cases. That's the first thing your lawyer tells you when you talk realistically. Their conviction rate is over 90%. Whatever you've seen on TV about getting off, forget it. The question isn't if, it's how much. You take a deal. 18 years, the alternative was 35 to life. You'll be out at 46 if you don't catch any violations inside. Federal prison is different from county. No early release programs, no time off for good behavior beyond the standard 15%. You do the math on the first night in your cell, and then you try not to do the math again, because the math will break you. Your daughter is 7. She was 4 the last time you lived at home. Her mother has already moved on. You don't blame her. You don't even say that bitterly. It's just a fact. Your daughter calls another man dad now. That one sits with you differently than the cell walls. You have time now. More time than you've ever had in your life. You get your GED, you take every program offered. You read history, law, whatever the library has. You file motions on your own case not because you think it'll change anything, but because you need to use your brain or it'll rot. The younger inmates come to you with questions. They're 19, 20, from Compton, from Inglewood, from Watts. Same neighborhoods, same corners, same story with different names. You tell them the truth, the whole truth, not the version that makes you look like a legend. The version where Demon is in the ground, and Lil Rome is in the ground, and you're here, and it wasn't worth it. Some of them listen. Most of them don't. You understand that too. Level 8. The cycle the Bloods don't die with you. The set is still running. Someone else is calling shots on Piru. The corners are still open. The money is still moving. The red rags are still being tied around the wrists of 14-year-olds who don't know what forever means yet. Your nephew is 13 now. He lives on the same block you grew up on. His mom, your sister, sends you photos sometimes. He's starting to look like you did at that age. You can see it in the way he stands in the pictures. Shoulders back, eyes watching something off camera. You've written him 4 letters. Real ones. Not tough guy stories. Not excuses. Just the truth. Demon's name. Lil Rome's name. The look on your daughter's face the one time she visited and didn't know whether to hug you or not? The math you did that first night in your cell. You don't know if he read them. Here's what nobody says out loud. The gang survives not because it's powerful, but because the conditions that built it never changed. The same underfunded schools, the same absent resources, the same system that finds it cheaper to build prisons than to rebuild neighborhoods. Piru Street looked the same when you were 12, as it did when your uncle was 12. That's not an accident, that's a policy. You were a kid who needed to belong somewhere. The neighborhood offered the only thing that felt like an answer. That doesn't erase what you did. You know that better than anyone. But somewhere right now, on Piru Street, there's a 12-year-old on a corner watching the older guys, learning the language, waiting for someone to nod at him. And the cycle turns again. Su Wu.